Hey, Nikki. So you're unretired then? That's the idea. It could be good for me to do some smaller roles with great directors, some challenging character work. Huh. So, like what, the gay uncle in the next Duplass Brothers movie kind of thing? Exactly. The fuck are you talking about? We haven't worked since you were 15. 41 years. To be number 7 on the call sheet of a goddamn student film. I think it's a good idea. You listen to me. You're Nick fucking... Whoa, Cage!
In a world of bad movies, 2 follically challenged men will stop at nothing to share their opinions of them. Their wives are tired of listening. But are you? This isn't the podcast you deserve, but it's the one you need. Prepare yourself for bald guys and bad movies.
Welcome to Bald Guys and Bad Movies, episode 50.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I am Troy, here with my buddy,
Mike Stella.
Mike Stella, with 50 years old today. 50 episodes deep. 50. What's some more analogies for 50?
I don't know, but you should work in 50 analogies into this episode. I think that would be suiting.
I'm sure people
fitting.
would absolutely love that.
Yeah. My mom would think it was funny. Or not.
How did she like Cocaine Bear? Did she say Cocaine Bear, by the way?
I don't know if she has, because she flew down to Mexico yesterday, so she's been dealing with getting ready to go, and she gets real stressed out when she flies, and so she's just, I don't know if she ever got around to seeing it.
Is that where they got the good mescaline?
You'd have to ask her.
Okay. I know she makes trips down there once a year, so.
Oh my God.
It's mescaline season, I hear.
Please forgive Troy, my mom.
Okay, let me know. Should I cut that joke out? It's a joke,
Maybe.
Mom.
Maybe.
It is a joke, okay? You are clean as driven snow. We all know it. What are we reviewing this week, Mike?
Well, this was one of my picks. This is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
What's the worry here, Nick? You've lost some of your talent as an actor?
No. What did he say?
He says he loves you, but he went in a different direction.
I'm done. I'm quitting acting. Tell the trades, it was a tremendous honor to be a part of storytelling and myth-making.
Ah, fuck, man, I'm driving through the hills. I'm sorry. One more time.
We got another offer. It's $1 million. It's to attend a wealthy gentleman's birthday party.
I would never do that.
It's the easiest gig ever. You play yourself.
What do we know about this guy anyway? Is he into something strange?
It's not like he's gonna want you to suck his dick or fuck his wife or watch him fuck his wife.
I wouldn't think so.
Welcome to Mallorca, Mr. Cage.
The guy that owns this house, what's his name?
Javi.
Is Javi gonna want me to,
I am Javi.
Nick Cage.
A movie I've been wanting to see since I first saw the trailer, probably almost a year ago. I was just so looking forward to this movie, and for some reason it took me forever to see it, which was sad because...
Yeah, how the fuck did it take us this long to review? It's made for idiots like us.
Yeah, it's absolutely the perfect movie for us. Dude, I loved the way they started this movie. I loved that they started on Con Air, and then it was Con Air, right?
Yeah.
And then they pull out, you see that they're watching it on a TV, and she's just like, Nick Cage is awesome, or something.
Right.
So
Well, before we
dude.
dive in, let me summarize. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a 2022 American action comedy directed by Tom Gormican, who co-wrote the screenplay with Kevin Eaton. It stars Nicolas Cage as a fictionalized version of himself, along with supporting cast including the amazing Pedro Pascal, Sharon Horgan, Ike Barinholtz, Alexandria Marasodadidara, Mastronardi, Alexandria Mastronardi. Maybe I'll just cut that name out completely. Neil Patrick Harris. Man, I love some Neil Patrick Harris, dude.
He's value added no matter what. He's just fucking perfect.
That guy is just fucking solid, dude. Who would have guessed Doogie Howser would be killing it at this point in his career?
Everything he's in, he kills.
And Tiffany Haddish. Filming began in Croatia on October 5th, 2020. The timing is so unfortunate for this film. Because this film, the budget, do you know the budget?
No.
$30 million.
Okay.
Box office was 29.1.
Oof.
Yeah. But remember when this came out? This came out like April 22nd of 2022.
Oof.
We were still in the midst.
Yeah, shit was like, you gotta wear a mask when you go to the theater. Everyone, like, they're checking your vax card when you go to the theater. So
finger up your ass, down your throat.
Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, a lot of people were still scared. Like they had a righteous fear of the virus, and
myself included.
And then a lot of people who had no fear of the virus weren't vaccinated and couldn't go see the movies, even though they didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And so, well, I mean, some of them did. They just bought fake vaccine cards. But yeah, it's totally
you had to be like, you have to be Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, totally.
To like, you know what? I'll risk death. I got to see this movie. Like, that's the level of draw you'll have to have. Which is unfortunate.
Absolutely.
Because non-spoilery, would you recommend this film?
It was so good. Absolutely, I'd recommend it. I mean, there was times that got a little into the like not obscene, but like
meta.
No, I liked all the meta stuff. The meta stuff was funny as shit, but there were certain things that were just into the absurd. Like some of it got a little into the absurd. I was like, I don't really buy this. Like I'm not sold on this right now, but I'll go along just because I love the concept so much. You know what I mean? Like, if the concept wasn't so solid, I wouldn't have gone along because I wasn't invested enough. A really good movie, I wouldn't have even thought about it. I'd have been like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do this. You know what I mean? But I wasn't there. I really wasn't. But I can't recommend it more. It was just insane. I mean, for me and Mom, because I know you're listening, you will love this movie. Like,
she a Nick Cage fan?
Oh, dude, we would see every Nick Cage. Face Off, she loves it. Con Air, she loved it. You know what I mean? The Rock. There are so many Nicolas Cage movies that you can just rapid fire them off. And also, like, Guarding Tess. I love that they brought up Guarding Tess because it's a super underrated movie and it's so good.
Hello.
Mr. Chesnick?
Yes.
Please hold for the president.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, you Doug?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Well, I got this call from Tess Carlisle, and I know this sounds a little crazy, but did you tear up some flowers of hers?
No, sir, I didn't tear it up.
Well, what'd you do?
I merely removed the bud.
I don't get it myself. One day she calls me, says she can't live without you. Next day she's calling almost in tears. So, you know, maybe you two have some kind of sicko thing going on.
No, sir. I can tell you
I'll
that...
tell you this, Doug. Any more phone calls from her and you're going to be guarding my dog. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because I probably got the most important job in the world.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like a goddamn idiot having to call you about a goddamn flower. You know what I mean, Doug?
Yes, sir, I do. I certainly do.
So what do you say? You going to help me out on this one?
Yes, you can count on it, sir.
And I was surprised no one mentioned leaving Las Vegas. Like, I was surprised, like, that wasn't in there somewhere because it was it would be perfect to, like, bring up.
I wonder was because it was seen as more of a serious film and didn't have quirky Nicolas Cage in it.
But that's why it would have been good to bring it up.
This is the pinnacle of success.
Yeah, it's the pinnacle of his true genius his true acting ability. He's not just an action star with a quirky sort of cadence. Like, he's an actual good actor.
Now, I saw an interview with him. It was like last year when this movie was coming out. And he was talking about the director, the director wanted performance, and it's like, I really wouldn't do that. He's like, I know you probably wouldn't do it, but Nick Cage would do it.
Right.
So
it's
like,
oh, that's what the director would say?
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever you want.
funny. He's like, I know you wouldn't do it, you Nick Cage.
Right.
But Nick Cage would.
Right. In the interview, he says it's like trippy because, he's playing himself, but it's not actually himself. It is the idea of him.
Idea of Nick Cage, which is so much better than him playing his actual self. You know what I mean? Well, I was just reading that the writer wrote this on spec, and he wrote it out of just a sincere love for Nick Cage's work.
You could tell.
He said that from a business decision, it was the stupidest thing he'd ever done because it was a one-shot deal, right? If he turned it down, if he didn't do it, then it was just a pile of garbage on his desk, he says. I think that's a quote that he said. But initially, he did turn it down, and they had to go back to him a couple times to convince him that they weren't going to turn it into a skit, a over the top sort of skit. It was going to turn into a real Nick Cage movie. You know what I mean? And that's what it really was.
Well,
so I don't know.
Well, yes, obviously I recommend this movie, and the best way I can sum this up before we can start dissecting it, because there's a lot to chew on in this. I was watching it, and around the middle, I'm thinking, this is an example of what I expected from Cocaine Bear, meaning.
Right.
The concept was so promising.
I know what you mean.
And this, I put on the same shelf. I had so much anticipation and hope that this would be. I didn't know what it was going to be, but you know it when you see it. And this fulfilled. I don't think there's a single thing I would have done differently. I mean, maybe once we talk about it. But I walked away thinking, yep. They pretty much nailed it.
Yeah.
And surprised me. It was.
I did not expect it to turn into a full-blown, action-packed Nick Cage film at the end. I mean, I should have, but I didn't.
Well, what I didn't expect, we have to give massive credit to Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. He was phenomenal.
Because I'm not going to say he stole scenes. He held his own with Nick Cage being Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And it never felt like Nicolas Cage was dominating those scenes. He had a really great comedic partner.
God, it was so fucking funny.
So, high praise. I would say you definitely pay $6 to rent it. It's free. Yeah. If you have Stars, you can watch it. I wish I had bought it, actually.
Oh, you didn't buy it?
No.
Oh, I bought it. I was like, if I paid $25 for Cocaine Bear, I'm going to pay $13 for fucking...
I should have fucking bought it. But here's the testament of the movie. I'll fucking buy it.
Yeah, it's good.
And then I can have it, and I'll watch it again. And that's a true testament of, not to jump too far ahead, because I was thinking about, what am I going to rate this? Because it started hitting me after I watched it, and it started sinking in. A good movie, you start thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wanted to watch it again today before we did the podcast, but I didn't get around to it.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Yeah, I can't wait till my mom sees it. She's going to freaking think I'm pretty sure she's going to think it's hilarious. It was really good.
So we both recommend it. See it, buy it, love it. Now let's get into it. You have notes.
I have a couple notes.
How do you want to kick this off? Is there something you want to talk about first, or?
Well, no, there were just certain things that I thought was funny about the movie. Look, the movie itself was just so well done. I like the fact that they kind of show him having this existential crisis, or this midlife crisis at the beginning of the movie.
With himself, with fucking young Nick Cage.
That was the one thing. I thought the CG or whatever they did to make the young Nick Cage, he just looked pretty bad.
It was a little dodgy, but I didn't give a shit.
It was a little dodgy, but I just love.
Yeah. And it was Nick Cage from one of my favorite Nick Cage movies. I meant to ask you this earlier. What's your favorite Nick Cage movie? But mine, top of the list, has to be Vampire's Kiss. Have you ever seen that?
I don't know.
That is the ABC.
How could somebody misfile something? What could be easier? It's all alphabetical. You just put it in the right file according to alphabetical order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Huh? That's all you have to do. I want to know, really, who did?
I cannot possibly tell you that.
You can't?
No, I can't.
Ha! And you call yourself a psychiatrist?
He plays a guy, like a Wall Street guy. It came out in like the 80s. He famously ate a live cockroach in this movie.
Wait, I think I've seen this.
He thinks he's turned into a vampire.
He has like some hot chick in it.
Yeah,
like she's
Jennifer
the one
Beals. Jennifer Beals. He meets her at a club, and I think she bites him, and he starts to lose his mind, think he's becoming a vampire, but is really not. And it is the most Nick Cagey, crazy, like young prime Nick Cage, fucking nuts.
I gotta watch it.
You
I'll
have
watch
to,
it.
if you haven't never seen it, or maybe need a refresh, but that is probably my favorite Nick Cage movie. I'm not saying it's a good movie.
Right.
I'm saying this is a great, crazy Nick Cage movie. But what I brought it up because the young him had the same hairstyle, the same look
from that movie.
There
were just some parts that just killed me. Like when he first when MPH tells him, "You want to make $1 million?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "Doing it. It's a birthday party." He's like, "What the hell? I don't $1 million. It's gonna be weird. He's like, "Look, he's not gonna ask you to suck his dick or fuck his wife or watch you fuck his wife. Watch him fuck his wife." It's just so funny. And then he says that to Javi.
He's like, "You're not gonna like a." He does a little the finger in
through the hole,
the finger hole. And...
Oh man! And then like when he's talking to his daughter about like old school movies, and he's like she doesn't know who Humphrey Bogart is. Like truthfully, I thought he was a porn star.
And then his wife said, "Well, it kind of sounds like a porn star."
Yeah, Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart. I thought that was pretty funny. And then the dude, when they're all high on, I love it. He's like, "We need to expand our minds. I have acid. I have LSD." He's like, "No." He's like, "No." He's like, "Okay, fuck it. Let's do it." Like,
how about the scene where he was going to quit? He was like calling his agent, Neil Patrick Harris, and he's giving this dramatic like farewell speech. And then he's like, "What? I'm breaking up. What'd you say?"
I'm going through again. You got to say that again. Sorry.
There is a plot, and there is a character arc for Nick Cage in this movie. He starts off as a down on his luck, career's in the toilet. He's going through this crisis, midlife crisis, and he fucking embarrasses his daughter. Before I forget, I must give credit to, and normally I don't notice stuff like this, and sometimes if you notice it because it's bad. But I noticed it because it was good. The editing. They did a lot of hard juxtapositions between moments.
Yeah.
Like the birthday party, for example. He sung the first refrain of the song, if you remember. It was a really horrible thing. And then he began to sing more, and a hard cut to him in a car with the wife. Clearly, things have went downhill from there. But it's funnier not to show that, like just to jump to
show like
the aftermath.
Jump to the aftermath. Absolutely.
And they did that a lot in the movie.
Yeah.
To great effect, I felt like. And I almost was wondering if they're trying to mirror, like, because Nick Cage can go from calm to fucking level 20 and then back to 3. Some of the edits felt like that in a good way. He takes this job to be at a birthday party for $1 million because he's in debt. He's living at a hotel. It's like $600,000 he owes the hotel.
Jesus.
And Pedro Pascal is the guy who he doesn't even fucking know he's the guy. He like, thinks he's like the bad guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's funny.
And that's where that line is like, I'm not gonna have to suck the husband's dick or he sucked my dick or watch his wife fuck, or like I'm actually the guy who invited you here. It's like, oh, okay. Nick Cage. It turns into a friendship, like a buddy comedy.
Dude, it was so good. It was like Pedro Pascal can do anything. He is the gem of everything nowadays. He can do anything.
Range is the word.
Oh my God.
The guy can fucking play comedy.
Yeah.
And he could break your heart with drama. He can intimidate the shit out of you.
Yeah, he can seduce anyone. You know what I mean, dude? In fucking, dude. The just sheer seduction power he had in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He just oozed seduction, and you couldn't take your eyes off him.
And you can't pigeonhole him.
Yeah.
That's the greatest compliment. Like, as much as I love Tom Cruise, he has played comedy, but there is a mold that he fits perfectly into. Whereas Pedro's much more malleable, right? And if I was an actor, that's the actor I want to be.
No shit.
Someone who can be funny. And I don't know. I mean, that's probably an obvious statement. I'm sure most actors want to be that, but
absolutely,
it's just it's
course,
amazing when you see someone. And we just finished, The Last of Us, which was a very brutal, emotional journey.
We should call this the Pedro Pascal show.
I know, man. It's the year of Pascal. So the plot, I don't know if it's the B plot, because the A plot is probably Nicolas Cage finding himself.
Okay, so it's set up that this girl has been kidnapped, right? Mm-hmm. And that is the whole thing that's really pushing the story forward. You know what I mean? Like pushing them into the next situation, because all the lackeys and minions are like trying to figure out what's going on and take them out and stuff like that. And so that I feel like is the actual plot, but the more important thing, the thing that you care about, is just watching Nick Cage like be Nick Cage. It's so weird.
Also, is it the CIA? That's where Tiffany Haddish and the other guy comes into play, her partner. They actually enlist Nick Cage to be their man on the inside, because Pedro, they believe, is the head of a cartel, and he's behind the kidnapping, which has ties to like the government and trying to blackmail the person in charge of the government. They did a nice job of, in the middle of the audience and Nick Cage, not knowing that Pedro is actually
right.
We're thinking he's the cartel
right. You're
guy.
thinking he's the bad guy. Yeah, totally.
At any given moment, has he found out?
Exactly.
And and then Tiffany Haddish is like, this maybe if you guys are writing a movie, maybe you suggest for the movie that you include a plot point about
kidnapping.
And at first he's like, oh, that's so derivative. You got to understand, we can't do that. Like he would.
He's like, it'll give it all away. He's like,
So he does it, and then he thinks, oh shit, he's figured me out. But Pedro thinks, oh, he's giving me this derivative idea because he's in a crisis about his family. So I'll fly his family out here. It leads to the most awkward fucking dinner with Pedro and his family trying to hash shit out. And in the midst of it, he's like, way worse than I imagined.
Yeah.
We're going to need more time, I think.
I got to see this movie again, man. Dude, what about the fucking incapacitation strip? It's like, put it on your hand and peel the thing. And then he's like going out and he's like, I think I just scratched my forehead. She's like, what? I think I just scratched my, no, I think I'm okay. I don't think I did. Like, well, did you? Yeah, I think I did. Oh! Dude,
and then that leads to there comes a physical comedy sequence with him.
Holy shit!
His body slowly shutting down as he climbs on the balcony.
Oh my
to come
god!
Back through the other side,
and he finally gets to the other side, gets the antidote, falls on the floor, is about to put it in his leg, and he's about to die, and he completely passes out. And she's like, "What are we gonna do?" They're like, "He's dying. He's dying. What are we gonna do? He's dying." She's like, "Hang on, I got it. Action." And he wakes up and he stabs himself in the leg with the antidote. And it's the perfect little scene, dude. It's so good. In fact, leading up to that part, I was a little like, this is kind of cheesy, but I'll go with it. But once that happened, I was like, okay, that made it all worth it. You know what I mean?
At every given moment, this movie could have lost the plot, right? Lost the thread and became like cringy, right? And not cool. And everything pays off. If you remember in the beginning, he's trying to convince his director that he's good for this part.
Right.
And he learned this line.
You know what? I'm gonna read. It's a foregone conclusion, Jimmy. It takes 13 milliseconds for the human brain to send a message to the body. So by the time your bullets hit me, my cerebral cortex will have transmitted a signal to the 17 healthy muscles that operate my trigger finger. And before your asshole has had a chance to pucker up, your medulla oblongata will be splattered on the fucking wall behind you. And if that's the last thing I accomplish on this beautiful green earth, well then, ha! I say, ha! What a way to fucking go.
That comes to play later.
Yeah.
In the end. Like, that's how he gets the jump on the bad guys. He starts to monologue that line. His horrible disguise. That's the bad guy.
Oh my God. That was so funny, dude.
And look, that's another example of the great editing. Because they set it up like a lesser movie would have had this whole elaborate scene of him pretending to be this bad guy. Almost instantly, he's found out. Where did she get the prosthetics, though?
Yeah, totally.
Like, what? Was that in her handbag? Like, fake nose?
So funny.
And then when they switch shoes.
Oh, my God.
So Pedro is not the head of the cartel. He is just a figurehead, a useful idiot, right? The real head of the cartel has found out that Nicolas Cage is working with CIA. So he's like, you got to kill Nicolas Cage. And that's like breaking his heart. And then Nicolas Cage, the CIA tells him, he knows. So you got to kill him now. They could both go to like the cliffside or,
Right.
And there's this moment where they're in the car and they're like, oh, I really like your shoes. So, oh yeah, you could have these shoes.
He's like, try it on. He's like, okay. He's like, oh, okay. He puts on a shoe. He's like, oh, I like it. He's like, yeah, it looks really good on you. He's like, well, you try this one on. He's like, oh, that looks really good on you. He's like, do you want to switch? It's just like so weird. Like, yeah, oh, okay. And then that comes into play later where they're like, okay, you got to go run and get the car. And he's like,
love it. Love the plan. But maybe you should go and I'll stay here.
I love that plan. I do. But you are a faster runner than me. I saw how fast you were in National Treasure.
No, that'd be the stunt department.
Not according to the making of featurette.
He's like, I can't run in these damn loafers. He's like, you're so much more. He's like, you're so much faster than me, even in those horrible shoes. Like,
he's like, these fucking shoes are too slick. There's no traction. Oh man, they were so good together. Like, I want to see more.
I would love to see a sequel.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it would be so... And you could do one. Like, you could totally do one. Like, if they can make 3 Taken movies, they can easily make 2 of these and have them be even better. Oh, my God. When they're frying on acid, though, like, I was fucking dying.
Oh, the wall.
The wall. It's just so funny. But I love when they have when there's before the wall when they're sitting on the bench and they're like, dude, I think those 2 guys are staring at us. He's like, no. He's like, yeah, I think they are. He's like, don't look. He's like, but I have to see. He's like, well, like, if you're gonna look, like, do a fake laugh or something. And he turns his head, looks at him, and is like, ha ha ha.
He's like cackling like a little dick.
It's so fucking weird, dude. And then they run away, and then they see 2 other guys sitting who are not the same people, but one guy has like long red hair like the other guy who was sitting there, so they think it's the same people. It's so funny.
And and then there's a wall scene. They try to climb a wall, and it's played out like it's dramatic, like action moment. I'm not gonna leave you behind. And then he tries to pull a page. You're heavier than you look. It's my head. Get your head. It's really big.
Yeah, he's like, yes.
He's like,
I'm
let
really
me go.
big
You go. He lets it go. He falls in slow motion.
He's like, no.
Granted, this is like a 6-foot wall. It's not very big at all.
It's a very short wall. Yeah.
And then it turns out they just had to walk around.
Well, yeah, that's a funny thing. He's like, no, and then he jumps on. He rolls over to the other side. He's like, and then you see Pedro's head just kind of pop out. He's like, turns out we could have just walked around the whole time. Weird shit happens when you're on acid.
Yeah,
I just gotta say
and
that.
He's like, you drive.
Yeah, he's like, I know you're a better driver than me. He's like, what are you talking? I can't drive on acid. He was like,
gone in 60 seconds. You did your own driving.
You did all your car stunts. So funny. Oh shit. Dude, what about the Nick Cage room?
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Like, they set up perfectly. It's like, he thinks that's where the kidnapped girl is. He's like, I have to go in there. You have to let me in. Are you sure? Because once you see what's in there,
you might think about me differently.
Yeah. And it's like a museum of Nick Cage shit, right?
Yeah.
And it's got the face-off statue, right, with the 2 guns, which comes into play later.
Yeah, he's like, did you take my guns? He's like, those are my guns.
He's like, is that supposed to be me? It's grotesque. I'll give you 20,000.
Sorry, it's not for sale. It's so good. Oh, I could talk about this movie forever, man.
There's not a wasted ounce of film footage.
Oh my God, what? And then he's all like, you're part of the CIA. He's like, I am not a member of any organization except for the Screen Actors Guild of America and AFTRA. Whatever that is. I think it's like radio or something. Yeah. It's so funny.
We can't not mention his younger self when he was more successful pops up, I think, 3 times. The beginning, and then maybe the end of the first act at the bar where he's giving him a pep talk. You're Nick Cage, you're a star. And then he deeply tongue kisses himself.
Oh, God.
He embraces himself and kisses him.
Nick Cage is a good smoocher.
Yeah. that was amazing. Yeah.
That was weird. That was very weird. Well, you know, I will say they spoke to stuff that was the really interesting. You know, like the fact that he's always doing movie after movie. He's always working. You know, he's always doing some kind of crappy B movie because he needs the money. You know what I mean? Because he's paying his bills. He's supporting his family. He was $150 million in debt here, it says. And got out of it without filing for bankruptcy and without having to do some silly Super Bowl commercial.
Was it just him pissing his money away? He had people robbing him? Like, how do you get that? I guess doing coke and blow and just being Nick Cage will organically put you in debt, I imagine.
I guess. I don't know. It doesn't say here how he got in debt.
But we see Pedro interact with Nicolas Cage. His favorite movie is Paddington 2.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He's like, what the fuck, Paddington 2? He's like, have you ever seen Paddington 2? It's like, no. He's like, I cried through the entire thing. It is glorious.
And jump cut. It's like the end of Paddington 2. Cage is all Niagara Falls.
But the best part was at the end of the movie, after everything's back to normal, he's home. They've sold their movie and everything. They made their movie and he's hanging out with his wife and his daughter. And he's like, let's watch a movie. I want to watch a movie. What do you want to watch? Anything you want. And like, you pick. And she's like, have you ever seen Paddington 2? And he's just like, oh my God. It's so good. It's so fucking heartwarming. It just hits you right in the feels. Yeah, the Paddington 2 thing was like one of my favorite little bits.
Have you seen Paddington 2?
I haven't. I kind of want to now.
I think I have a while ago. I remember it being a solid movie. I don't think it fucking...
I kind of want to watch it again.
Yeah, I do. Now I do want to watch it again.
I really want to watch it again. I wonder if it's on... I feel like it's on HBO or something. Like, I really want to see it. Like, I remember when... As soon as they started saying that, I thought to myself, man, I want to see Paddington.
The finale of the movie, they have sold the movie.
Movie is them making this movie.
Written together.
Is this movie.
Right. And it's a big movie premiere. And, you know, afterwards, Pedro's like, you want to hang out? He's like, no, I'd rather hang out with my family.
Yeah.
So that line with Paddington, when they're watching the movie, they do a nice pan out, and you see the billboard for the movie.
Yeah, right.
And that's his growth. Like, this is what's more important. But what is your favorite Nick Cage movie?
My favorite Nick Cage movie, you know, it's hard for me to say because I love so many.
Should it be categorized like favorite comedy, favorite action?
You know, I actually really like Leaving Las Vegas. It's a hard watch, but it's such a good movie. Like, it's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And then that I think will probably go down as his best film ever made, like film-wise. Right. You know what I mean? Elizabeth Shue is smoking and great. You know what I mean? She's really good in that.
I'm going to tell you, man, I've had a crush on her since... Did you ever see Adventures in Babysitting? Did you ever see...
Oh, yeah. Totally.
She's got a great ass.
And you got your head all the way up it.
She got a great ass. And you got your head all the way up it.
Don't put that in the fucking episode.
Oh, yeah. I'll lead with that. That's the opening. Sure. Their wives are about to divorce them. To change the opening.
Right. I love The Rock. I love Face Off. I love Con Air. Con Air is great. That stupid fucking accent that he does through the whole fucking movie.
I'm not a huge fan. Like, I like it. It's fine. But it's not like, for me, Face Off is one that I could rewatch. And because it's got like two hammy performances for one.
Yeah, they were really good.
You know what I mean?
They were both so good.
Con Air.
I want to take his face off. But I did love The Rock, man. Let's cut the chit chat
A-hole.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole.
Well, you know why I like The Rock so much? Because I feel like his over-the-top style of acting with Michael Bay's over-the-top style of like directing and camera movements work so well together. The Rock is easily one of my favorites.
He could be purposely melodramatic.
Yeah.
And Michael Bay, that's just his mode.
Exactly.
Everything's melodramatic. Everything's just heightened. Everything's sexy. If there are girls in this movie, it's the fucking most beautiful girl in cutoff jeans you've ever seen. It's always the golden hour. You know what I mean? The sun is always setting in LA, so there's a golden sheen. If there's a beach, there's always muscular people with like, you could just smell the lotion dripping off the screen, right? And then you get here and it smells like urine and pee. And my family loved The Croods.
Why the fuck would I have seen The Croods too? I'm a 44-year-old man. That was fucking funny.
And he's got the Renfield coming out, which I cannot fucking wait to see, dude. I have a feeling that's a classic in the making.
I wonder if we're going to see the resurgence of Nick Cage soon. Like that, I would love that.
But that's the thing. The guy has never gone anywhere. He's never dead because Nick Cage is a brand.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't kill a brand. You just reinvent it.
Oh, and he was Spider-Man Noir, too. He was so good. He was great in that.
That's what I mean. Like, the guy is ever present.
Dude, he had 6 movies released in 2017. 6 movies released in 2018. Holy shit. 5 in 26. This guy just stays working. Like, it's insane.
But you know, looking at his career, dude, I'm looking at IMDb.
Yeah, me too.
He'll do the most B movie possible, direct to video, and then 2 movies later, he's in like a blockbuster, either as the voice or, you know what I mean?
But I also think there's something to be said about, like, you know, not turning stuff down.
Right. You throw enough spaghetti at the wall, something will stick, right? I like that segue. I mean, I love the man. I love Nick Cage, man. Like, I love everything he does. And even though I have not seen all his movies, I like knowing he's out there. You know what I mean? He's just out there.
Hell yeah.
Walking the earth, making movies. And then eventually there's a movie of his that I will see. And I'll probably fucking enjoy it. And if I don't like the movie, I know I'm going to like him. He never gives a dull performance.
He never disappoints. Right? Like, no matter how bad a movie is, you can always enjoy watching Nick Cage.
Right. We cannot end this review without me mentioning this one particular movie. And this is for you, Robin, because my lovely wife, I believe at the time we weren't married. I think we were just dating. She forced me to go see Captain Corelli's Mandolin.
An underrated film, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I chuckled when that line.
I've never seen it.
I remember it to this day, and it was late at night, well, late-ish, like 10 p.m., so I'm already kind of tired, but okay, let's go see it. And my fucking God, was that movie awful to me. And I would love to rewatch it, because I want to know if it's as awful as younger me from 2001 felt it was, because it was torturous. And I don't mind romantic movies. Like, I'm a romantic at heart, folks. You know what I'm saying? If you ever piece together now, I'm a fucking romantic. When a fisherman leaves to fight with the Greek army during World War II, his fiancée falls in love with the local Italian commander. Man, I fucking hate this movie.
Did she like Captain Corelli's Mandolin?
I believe she did like it. You know, I was probably a selfish young pup and dragging her to all my action movies and, you know, whatever, you know, Spidey swinging, let's go see that. It was just an adult movie, you know, romance. I'm like, okay, you know, I'll play ball. But my God, it was fucking boring. Now, I would love to rewatch it and be like, holy shit, man, I was an idiot. Maybe it's my Paddington 2.
Totally.
Maybe I'll be weeping. Captain Corelli, the way he played the mandolin at the end. And I don't fucking remember anything about this movie. I think he did play a mandolin.
Yeah, he did.
So
I mean, that's
there you go.
Absolutely.
And then, a grenade blew his fingers off and he couldn't play it anymore. Then he learned to play it with his toes. It's pretty heartbreaking.
That did not happen.
I'm pretty sure that happened. Actually, that didn't happen, because if that happened, I would have been like, whoa, that's pretty fucking cool. That would have woke me up. I know I took her to see Eyes Wide Shut, and I'm never hear the end of it, because she fucking hated it. And I didn't like it that much either, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not that great.
And I was like, apologizing. I'm sorry. And I remember the whole theater being like, boo! And no one was happy. It was like, what was that? Oh my God. But anyway, that's for you, honey. Captain Corelli's mandolin. Let's rate it, Mike.
I will rate it 4 drops of clean acid out of 5. I was like, oh man, they got liquid. That's the good stuff.
I'll give it 4 slick loafers, poorly designed for running from bad guys out of 5. I love this movie.
I liked it a lot.
I'm not going to say you have to be a massive Nick Cage fan to like this movie. It certainly helps.
Yeah,
I think the movie works fine by itself.
I don't know.
Kind of.
I don't know if it does.
But yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. It's hard to remove.
I feel like you need the Nick Cage nostalgia. Yeah. The Nick Cage love in order to like this movie. Yeah. I don't think I'd like it as much if I wasn't super into Nick Cage.
Yeah, if you're not a huge Nick Cage fan, you may not like it as much as we like it. It still works as a movie, but a lot of the meta part of it and the in joke part of it is based on your knowledge of Nick Cage and just the sheer love of the man. I think you said it earlier, like the guy, he wrote it on spec. It is a love letter to Nicolas Cage, and you can tell.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
So if you would like to support this show, keep us going, keep us rolling along, uploading content, you can support us by going to patreon.com/baldguysbadmovies and donate to the show. We're going to use those funds to make sure we can see any movies that you guys want to see and getting our studio set up so we can start recording video and doing these not just audio but also video on YouTube. And once a month, we will pick a patron to choose a movie for us to review. And we'll review it. We'll dedicate it to you. But either way, we just hope you enjoy the show and keep on coming back.
Paddington 2 is incredible.
I fucking told you.